Oh, you can get it right. Here we go.
Okay, I think maybe we ought to get started. Just want to go let people know we have people here that are handing out flyers, and also the caucus voting for national delegates that represent Bernie at the convention in Philadelphia are starting at 2 o'clock. They're at the Meridian Club. We have flyers that give directions on that. We want you to go. We want you to support our members, myself, Carole and Ernie Martinez. So please, after the march, go over to the Meridian Club, get in line, sign in, and vote. We need to have good representation at the convention for Bernie. And I'd like to introduce our first speaker. We're very proud to have the co-sponsorship today of the Communication Workers of America. And we have today Kenny Williams, who is president of the local CWA. Kenny's going to say a few words about the important role that unions have played in building the middle class here in America. Kenny?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kenny Williams. I'm the president of CWA Local 9510. We represent AT&T, Verizon, AT&T Mobility, and the substitute teachers in Orange County. So let's give those workers a hand. We're here today to honor working people in this country and support the only candidate that has stood with working people for his entire career, and that's Bernie Sanders.
Yeah!
This is a very important week for workers here in America. On April 28th was Workers' Memorial Day. After decades of struggle by working people and their unions have improved working conditions and made jobs safer. But business groups have launched an all-out assault on working people, seeking to turn back the clock and block all progress and take away rights and protections which workers enjoy for their health and safety. On April 28th, the unions of the AFL-CIO observed Workers' Memorial Day to remember those who have suffered and died on the job and to renew the fight for safe jobs. This year we will come together to call for work in this country that is safe, healthy, and pays fair wages. We will celebrate victories won by working people and commit to fighting until all workers have the freedom to form unions without threat of retaliation. May 1st is International Workers' Day. This actually started here in this country, in Chicago, in 1886, over the fight for an 8-hour day. In the East, 30,000 CWA workers and 10,000 IBEW workers, after 10 months of bargaining, on the 19th day of a strike against Verizon. Verizon is a very profitable company, $4.22 billion in 2015, and they just are flush from a $10.6 billion sale of wireline in the West, Texas, and Florida. The CEO compensation last year alone was $18 million, and more than $230 million given to Verizon's top 5 executives in the last 5 years. On 4/13/16, Bernie Sanders was on that picket line. Yeah. Bernie Sanders didn't stop by for a photo op. Bernie Sanders stood with those workers and talked to those workers, and he later sent out a tweet that said, if Verizon can pay its CEO $20 million a year, it can certainly afford to pay workers fair wages and provide for their health care.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders was the only one who was on that line. I talked to people back there, some of my peers, And I cannot tell you what it meant to those people who had to go out on strike after 10 months and are fighting for their children's health care, for their family's health care, which today Verizon has decided to take away from them and bring in more unsafe, unskilled workers and to deprive the people in that community of proper telecommunications. So, just remember, you're dealing with Verizon, that's who you're dealing with. Here in the West, AT&T, we are on working without a contract since April the 10th. Healthcare, pensions, worker safety, job security, keeping jobs in the United States. The same things they're fighting for in these, we have the same problems here with these multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations that want to take from communities and not put jobs back into the community. So just remember, help us with that fight with AT&T. I want to just talk a little bit about how I came to support Bernie Sanders. Our union, in last year in December, did a poll to see who the members of our union wanted to support in the primaries or not support in the primaries. The members of CWA decided to support Bernie Sanders because he's the stands for working people, just like he did on the picket line in New York. I want to kind of talk to you just a little bit about the system. Of the people, by the people, and for the people is what this system should be about.
Yes.
But it's about anything but that. The system is rigged. And let's just face it, you know how you know the system is rigged? Where the people on both parties that are most disliked are winning.
Yes.
So you know something is wrong with the system. It's about the billionaire class. And let me tell you another thing how you can know something is wrong with the system. How many people here, everybody here's applied for a job, right?
Yeah.
So who would apply for a job that's going to cost you 20 times what the job pays to get the job? So the president of the United States is a $400,000 a year job, and they spend $1 billion to get it. So when you do that, you owe people because of things like Citizens United, where corporations are people and money is speech.
No! Boo!
The financial system is also very, very important to understand. The economy is rigged against us. Isn't it amazing how when it should be of the people, by the people, and for the people, they try to take the vote away from the people, and they try to give it to those that can buy the system? 12 million people voted for the women candidates this morning. There's 200 million in the state. So that means a lot of people are not voting and are not involved in the process. And to your young people, the fight and the movement that we're trying to develop here, that Bernie Sanders is starting, is very, very important for your career. Why should a student that goes to college, does the right thing, passes the SAT, prepares himself for college, be burdened with debt? For those of you who live in California, you know there used to be free education in this state.
Yeah.
And it didn't bankrupt the state, which is the seventh largest economy in the world. So what they do is you're not rich, and you have to go, you do all the right things, and you go to college, here's your reward. You get burdened with debt for 20 or 30 years, the start of your career. And that's just wrong.
Yes.
Bernie speaks to those things. Bernie, for me, is more than just a president, a candidate for president. Bernie is the start of a movement to let people know that you can take $27 from the people that you want to represent instead of millions of the corporations, and you are then working for the people because you're being supported by the people to create a government of the people. Government systems are told me, I just want to say, Bernie's campaign is about people. People matter, and people are powerful when we decide to take that power and to vote and to stay in the game and to continue to build this movement. When I say people, you say power, people.
Power.
It's also about a movement, people. A movement to change the way that this country is run, to take the 1% out and make sure that your vote counts just as much as a billionaire. It's about the movement, people. When I say movement, you say power. Movement.
Power.
In closing, I just want to say Bernie Sanders has started that movement. For you young people here, you have to keep that movement going. We can change this country from within peacefully. We won't be quiet, but we will be peaceful. And we can take this country and build it together on what Bernie started. When I say Bernie, you say power. Bernie.
Power!
Bernie.
Power! Power! Power!
Thank you.
Woo! Yeah!
Thank you so much, Tim. That was wonderful. The next speaker is Dr. Peter Mathews. He's a professor of political science at Cypress College, and he is a mega Bernie supporter. So without further ado, Dr. Peter Mathews.
Thank you so much, sisters and brothers of North Orange County, for Bernie Sanders. Let's hear it for you.
Yeah!
I'm feeling the burn.
Yeah!
I'm seeing the burn.
Yeah!
Doing the burn.
Yeah!
Dance for that? All right, the new dance. Bernie dance. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in serious business. This is a political revolution for social justice. Am I right?
Yeah!
It's not a Tea Party. We know who the Tea Party are.
Yeah!
We are people for American values, which means jobs, education, health care, minimum wage increase. Senator Bernie Sanders was way ahead of his time. Back 40 years ago, he was taking no money from corporate lobbyists when he ran for mayor of Burlington, Vermont, no money from developers. He ran a grassroots campaign 40 years ago, and he ran 7 times for mayor until he finally won. You know that? Wow. He won by 10 votes.
Wow.
He did the right thing back then, and he's doing it now. He takes no money from corporate lobbyists, no special interest PACs. He's a man of the people, and that's what we need in Washington, not right in the White House. And we're here for that. Let me just say a few things about myself and where we're going here and how it relates to what we're doing. My parents were immigrants to America 45, 50 years ago, actually. And we did very well. My father and mother went on to graduate school. My dad was a psychologist. My mom was a special ed teacher. And we lived the middle-class American dream. All 4 of our children, their children, my brothers and sisters, were able to go to college in 4 years, get 2 degrees, graduate school, go on to become teachers and professors and a businessman, my brother. And we did very well, and we bought our own homes, we raised our families, and our children are going on to college. Now, is that true of American young people today?
No!
That is what we're talking about. The dying of the American dream. We believe in resurrecting the American dream. And it's all about dollar democracy. It is my book that I wrote recently called Dollar Democracy, with Liberty and Justice for Some. How to reclaim the American dream for all is all about Bernie's campaign, basically. It's about a lot more, but it's basically the theme of the campaign, and that is big money is bought our politicians, the special interest PACs, that are paying people like Hillary Clinton and paying all these other folks to go to Wall Street and collect checks. Checks not just for their campaigns, but for themselves personally when they make speeches. Am I right? Bernie never did that. And he will never do that because Bernie believes in people's democracy, in true democracy. So I'd like to say the only way we can return American dream back to our people is to get rid of dollar democracy, get the money out of politics, and it just didn't begin with Citizens United. That's the worst part of it. This dollar democracy began back in the 1980s and 70s when the Democratic Party decided to take corporate money like the Republican Party, with the exception of people like Bernie Sanders, Senator Paul Wellstone, Elizabeth Warren. We've got good, true Democrats in our country. And we have those people to thank, and we've got to support them. And we've got to return and resurrect this Democratic Party and bring others from outside the party to be in coalition with us. You don't have to belong to the Democratic Party to support this political revolution. Everyone should be part of it. The Green Party members, the declared state independent voters, we are all part of this movement to take America back, and we will take it back, ladies and gentlemen. There is no doubt about that. These corporate bankers on Wall Street, these big business corporations taking our jobs to cheap labor countries like China and Mexico, these folks don't have the future. We are the future, and we are the present that's going to bring the future right now. We're not going to wait for 20 years. Am I right about that?
Yes!
And I want to thank Brother Kenny Williams for what he told about the truth about Labor Day. This is the Labor Day all around the world. May 1st, because of the Haymarket Massacre, where workers fighting for an 8-hour day, the most decent achievement they could have, which finally came, these workers gave their lives. Because the corporate elites that day, they hired the goons to go in there and shoot the crowd up and gave some kind of reason about this and that. The point is that the workers were fighting for a decent work day. They can have time with their children. They can have time to love and care and be with their children, play with them after 8 hours, and go on and do the right thing. And yet, the corporate elites back then, and even today, they don't want us to have an 8-hour day. We got workers now, jobs taken in Mexico, where the workday is much longer, the minimum wage is so tiny that no one can live over there. And when Trump talks about illegal immigrants, that guy's way off the mark, am I right?
Yes.
Does he have any concept of economics? Does he know about free trade and NAFTA, which ruined this country and ruined Mexico and drove the middle class to the ground in Mexico? Because NAFTA took the cheap jobs over there, they're paying the workers next to nothing over there, and by the way, NAFTA also allowed the corporate farmers here to dump their corn, their GMO corn on Mexico and sell it cheaper. Am I right about that? And that GMO corn was sold cheaper than the Mexican farmer, the family farmer could produce the corn there. And what happened to that family farmer in Mexico? He and she went out of business and they went to the factories in Tijuana to work for General Motors or for Ford or wherever else, or Hyundai or whatever. And when they worked for those corporations, they got paid even less than they were making on the farm. Am I right?
Yes.
So where do they come for opportunity? They're coming here, some of them. Some of them come here because this is a lot of opportunity and because they're driven out from there because of these free traders, these corporate elites that don't care about American workers. They don't care about the American middle class. They don't care about the Mexican working Mexican middle class. They care about their own pocketbooks and their checkbooks and their corporate, right?
Yeah.
And stocks. And that is going to stop because we the people are taking this back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking it back, taking our power back. I am so happy and proud to see so many young people here from colleges in the whole area because you young people are leading this revolution. Without you, we could never do it. And you know, Bernie has been doing great with your voting group. Am I right? And you're going to keep doing it. And we know that whenever independents are allowed to vote in these primaries, Bernie just takes the cake. He swamps the vote. Am I right?
Yeah.
So I say we should open up all these primaries to independents and let everyone in America vote. We should ban the Electoral College. We should raise the minimum wage.
Yes. Yeah.
We want direct democracy. Now, here's something else. In America today, the gap between rich and poor is 400 to 1. The CEOs in America are making 400 times the income of the average worker. You know what that's up from? Back in 1980, before Reagan, it was 40 to 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Making 40 times the income of the average worker. Now it's 400 to 1. The top 1% captured 93% of all the new income that came into America in the last 7 years since the recession. Top 1% captured 93% of the income. Are you surprised why the gap is growing like that? And to me, that is a social sin. We
Yes.
don't allow that to happen. It's immoral. Anyone with any kind of faith, or those good friends of ours who are atheists who care about morality and ethics, we all know that it's wrong to deprive people of food, to deprive them of education, to ruin our environment. Global warming is just capturing all the storms and the horrible tornadoes, and all those things are happening because of the oil companies being out of control, and the oil companies being allowed by the corporate elites to pollute the air, to keep on digging and drilling and fracking, and acidizing, and things like that, pollute our water, pollute our air, and we the people will not take it anymore because the only ones that can turn this around is not the elites, not the top 1%, the top 1%. Who can turn this around, ladies and gentlemen?
We the people.
You got it. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I must say, it is always a pleasure to be in Orange County because this is my work home. I've worked at Cypress College for 30 years, and my heart and soul are there, even though I live in Long Beach. So thank you so much, and God bless you all. Let's keep the fire burning!
Yeah. Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, we all work our hearts off to get him in there.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was wonderful. Now, the caucuses will open their doors at 2 o'clock, so we're asking anyone that is registered as a Democrat that lives in CD 39 to go to our caucus, which is at the Meridian Club. If you want directions and if you want information on 2 of the candidates that are running, myself and Ernie Martinez, we've got that information here, so just come up to me. I can give you the information. We'd love to see you at the caucus. We're also going to be selling our lovely T-shirts and our lovely Bernie earrings. So if you're interested, please come and vote for national delegates for Bernie. Thank you so much for being here. Feel the burn!